Happy holidays, everybody. It is solstice, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make my Bûche de Noël. My name is Tanguy. I'm an at-home chef, and I do a bunch of stuff. So come on, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. Now, the Bûche de Noël is made in many different ways. The one that I make was passed on to me by my father, and it is a chocolate one. It Bûche de Noël looks like a log. It actually was, that word used to be used as the word for the Yule log itself, but when the dessert became popular, it just became reference to the dessert itself. Now, we're going to make this in 4 different steps here. First, we're going to make a mousse that we're going to fill the cake with, since this is a rolled cake. We're going to fill it with this chocolate mousse, and then we're going to make a ganache. The ganache is going to be the frosting on the outside of the cake, and then we're going to make the cake itself and a little bit of a syrup to put on the cake, give it that little bit of extra. So for this recipe, we're going to need a total of a lot of things for these 4 different pieces, and I'm going to show you in each piece how to do it. We're going to need a total of 12 and a half ounces of semi-sweet chocolate, 9 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, some coffee, 1.5 cups of whipping cream, and 1.25 cups of flour. So I'm going to show piece by piece. Today I'm going to do the ganache, and I'm going to do the mousse, and probably the syrup. All 3 of those should need to sit and chill in the fridge for a while. And then tomorrow I'll be making the cake, and I'll show you how to make the cake and get it rolled properly without it breaking or cracking. All right, step 1, the mousse. So the mousse inside is going to be using raw egg whites, so make sure you get fresh eggs, pasteurized if you can. I always try and wash the outsides of my eggs, just make sure nothing's on the shell that could get in there. So we're going to first we're going to measure 3 ounces of chocolate, and then we're going to melt that in the microwave behind me, and then we're going to get 4 egg whites from these eggs, and then we're going to go over to the standing mixer, and we're going to pop it in there for however long it takes to get some stiff peaks going. So let's do this. All right. Almost. There we go. 3 and a little more. Boom. All right. I'm going to toss in a little bit of vanilla in there. And it says 3 tablespoons of coffee. I'm just going to eyeball it. This is my cold brew concentrate. Now you can do this over a double boiler, which is what my recipe says to do, but I'm going to put it in the microwave. It seems to work much faster. Just do 30 seconds at a time and stir it. That's probably about all I'll need, is probably 30 seconds. Put this away, and we'll get to separating eggs. It's almost done. Alright, so you can see here that it is fully melted. You just want to stir it all up like this. And with the chocolate mousse, I like to have a little bit of alcohol in it. For the mousse, I prefer a rum, a dark rum. So I'm going to add that in right now. Totally optional. That was maybe a ½ ounce. And you just want to keep stirring this until it gets all smooth. You'll see it all come together pretty quickly. But you don't want to let it seize or anything like that. Just all right. Great. Set that aside. Now I'll get to separating these eggs. When I separate eggs, I like to use 3 things. One, the middle one to put the egg white in, and then the second one to put the egg yolk in, and then this is just for 1 egg at a time. So you do 1 at a time just in case you mess up, and then you can go get another one or wash this out pretty easily without messing up the rest of what you've accomplished here. And then put the egg yolk in here. Put this in here. Now for the mousse, we're not going to use the egg yolks. Oop, see, I totally messed up this egg. The egg yolk completely broke on me. 2. Alright. So as I was saying, this recipe uses just egg whites for the mousse here. You could definitely stir in the yolks, make it a little bit thicker. I do that sometimes when I'm making just mousse, but generally what I do is I will use these egg yolks for ice cream base to make some custard. One more egg, and then we'll hit the standing mixer. All right, I got those egg yolks here in the standing mixer. My recipe originally said to just, it's only a few egg yolks, just only a few egg whites. So just, do it by hand. And then I realized I didn't really like doing that. This takes a lot longer to do it this way with the standing mixer. But hey, it'll save a little bit of my elbow and wrist. So there we go. I will check back in about 5-ish minutes when these are a little bit stiffer, and we'll add some sugar. Alright, so this is looking pretty good here. So now we're going to add the sugar. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar right in there. So, mess that up, man. So this is the way it looks. Time to fold. All right, here we go. Final step of this. Let's get this ready. So let me put it in. So I have my chocolate here, the melted chocolate you can see. And then I have my egg whites that have been whipped to stiff peaks. First thing you're going to do is temper the chocolate. You're going to put a bit of the egg whites into there. Just kind of stir it up. And then I'm going to put about half of this in here. And then I'm just going to fold like this. Fold. 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 Doesn't have to be perfect. Just like that. Put the rest of that in there. Fold. So you're not looking for, a complete mix. You just want to kind of fold in the chocolate, and you see those ribbons of chocolate in there? That's a good thing. It's kind of what you want, is this, something that looks like this. So not exactly perfect. Nothing is perfect, but all mixed in. And then I'm going to put it into this deli here, and I'm going to put this into the fridge overnight to chill because it needs to firm up. And then we have our chocolate mousse filling for our Bûche de Noël. Give it a taste. Yummy. All right, now that I got some chocolate mousse on my my iPad here, when I hit the button last time, we're going to be making the ganache right now. That's going to be the frosting for the cake. Ganache is very easy. You are going to do about the same amount of chocolate as cream. And so we're going to start off on the stove here. We've got to scald the cream. So we're going to do 1 cup of cream, so 8 ounces. So we just need to scald that, and while we're waiting here, we're going to measure out 8 ounces of chocolate, since we want the same amount. Here. A little bit more than 8 ounces. Oh, it didn't even move. There. A few more. All right. A little bit more is always better. All right. So now the cream is just about scalding. You can kind of see little bubbles right there. So we're going to get to it. Just a few more seconds here. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take the cream and we're going to pour it on top of the chocolate. And then we're going to stir and stir and stir and stir. And then towards the end, when it started coming together, we're going to add a little bit of cognac for the ganache. I like the cognac. Irish whiskey is also amazing in it. Anything you want is good. Rum is good. But I like the cognac for the ganache part. So let's get it. That's scalded. So we're just going to pour that right on top here. Turn this off and then just start stirring here. And it might not look like it's going to come together, but it always will. In fact, I put that in my directions from many years ago. And I said, you're going to be stirring and think you messed something up. But the truth of the matter is, you did not. It just easily comes together just like this. You can see it nicely coming together. See that? I go a little slower. And then right about here, I'm going to add about an ounce of cognac. And you gotta stir again. And this one, you kind of want to make it so it looks homogeneous. So you want to kind of make sure you get all the little, like, see it. Now it's all nice and smooth like this. You're gonna pop this into here. Like this. All right, we're going to take this, we're going to put it in the fridge overnight. It'll get firm up, and that'll be used for the frosting for our cake. But before that, very important. Oh yeah, so good. All right, good morning. Now it's time to bake a cake. We're gonna bake a cake. We're gonna bake a cake. Now this part is one of the most difficult parts of the Bûche de Noël because you have to make a rolled cake and you want to kind of roll it without breaking it. If you do break it, that's okay. It's fixable. It's not going to be that big of a deal. I'm going to show you kind of how I do it, and hopefully on camera I don't crack the cake, but if I do, that's fine too. So for this recipe, for special things we're going to need, we're going to use our mixing bowl because we're going to beat our eggs whites again. We're going to need 2 quarter sheet pans, 1 and 2, one with a silicone mat in it. This is what we're going to bake it in. Either a silicone mat or you can put parchment paper on there. And we're going to spray this with Pam. And then we're going to need a large cloth towel here. This one used to be white, but what we're going to do is we're going to put cocoa powder on it for turning the cake out. That's what made it this color. This is my cocoa powder thing. And that's about it for special ingredients. For the items, the ingredients that we're going to need, we need 1.5 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate, 2 tablespoons of butter. I got them over here. 2 tablespoons of butter. This is going right in the chocolate here. We need a teaspoon of vanilla extract, which is going to go in the chocolate as well. We need 5 eggs, which we are going to separate in a minute here. And we're going to use both the eggs whites and the egg yolks in this cake. Then we need sugar. We're going to need 1/2 cup of sugar plus 3 tablespoons. So just a little more than 1/2 cup. Pop it in there. We're going to need 1/2 cup of cream and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 cup of flour. Flour into here. Get that prepared. There we go. And those are all the ingredients that we need to make this cake. So let's get to separating the eggs, and then we're going to move over to the standing mixer to beat the egg whites, just like we did yesterday. All right, first things first, here's our flour. We're going to put about half a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to put it just right in here. Then we're going to put about half a teaspoon of salt in there. All right, and then we have that ready. Now we're going to melt our chocolate. We need this is the 1.5 ounces of chocolate, the 2 tablespoons of butter, and vanilla. And then I'm going to add half a cup of cream, if I can get this open. There we go. Oh, it's a new one. Half a cup of cream. All right, now I'm going to melt this in the microwave behind me for 30 seconds. Something to stir it with. I'm gonna get this prepared to separate my eggs out here. I'm going to take this out. Not totally melted yet. The chocolate's kind of melted. Try and get that butter incorporated in there. I'm going to toss this cream right in here. It's going to be one big batch here. Stir it up a bit. I'm going to toss it back in that microwave. The cream is so cold, I'm going to put it back for 15 seconds. All right, I should mention also the oven is set at 425 right now, as that's the temperature that we're going to be baking at. All right, there we go. Stir this up. Just kind of want all the butter and the chocolate melted and incorporated with the cream is all. And that looks pretty good. All right, now let's separate some eggs here. Same process as last time. One. Oh no. Two. I lost my yolk, but I saved it. I gotta wash my hand though. All right. 3. 4. Little tiny shell. And 5. All right, 5 eggs. All right. Toss that in there. And now we're going to move over to the standing mixer and get that going. Alright, so just like yesterday, we're going to whip these egg whites in the standing mixer here until firm peaks. And then we're going to add a whole bunch of sugar, which will make it kind of like wet a little bit. And then we'll just start folding in all the other ingredients. There we go. Turn it on there, high. Not too high, just a medium. And then I'll join you back in a few minutes when this is at firm peaks. So here we are, looking pretty good right now. I think we're about there, ready to start incorporating the sugar in there. So we're just going to slowly kind of drizzle this in. Like that. It'll start getting everywhere your mixer's too high. There you go. Let it go a little bit. And you're going to see with the addition of the sugar, it's going to look a little wetter. See, it no longer stiff peaks because of the sugar, but this is about kind of what you're looking for right here. Alright, let's go fold. Alright, back here because we're going to start folding here. We're going to take our egg yolks here. I'm just going to kind of stir them up a bit. And then we're going to fold them right into the egg whites. Just like this. Kind of looks like that. And then just as we did before, we're going to stir a little bit of the egg white mixture into the chocolate here. Kind of get that homogenized. Then we are going to do this. So you can see it. Fold the chocolate mixture, chocolate butter and cream mixture into the egg white here a little bit. And then I'm going to put this, because I need more volume than this little bowl will hold, back into the rest of the egg mixture. I'm going to fold that right in there. So it looks like this. And now, this is the flour, if you recall, the flour, the baking soda, and the salt. And I'm just going to put this in little by little and slowly fold that into the mixture here. The idea is to incorporate it without destroying the beautiful protein structures you've made by beating the egg whites. I've done a little bit too much there. Little at a time goes a long way. So there we go. Final mix. Now, I have the sheet pan, as we discussed earlier, with the silicone mat in there. I've sprayed the whole thing with Pam. I'm going to sprinkle this with some flour at the bottom. Just double ensure no sticking here. And then we're going to pour this batter right into the sheet pan. So now you kind of want to spread this and try and make it even. It's going to be a very thin seeming layer. You kind of want to get all the corners here. Now you can use an offset spatula for this as well. I used to do that a lot. I stopped doing that because this silicone spatula really seems to work much better on this sticky dough here. Okay. There we go. All right. That looks pretty even, and now I'm going to kind of tap it, try and get rid of some of the bubbles, settle it in a bit. Now I'm going to stick this into the oven at 425 for 9 minutes, and then we'll come back here, and while it's cooking, I'm going to prep a little bit, get everything ready here, and then we'll pull it out, and I'll show you the most difficult part of the whole process. All right, our cake is done here. So now this pan is very hot. You have to make sure you use gloves for sure. So I have this cloth out in front of me. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to sprinkle it with cocoa powder, just all over here like this. That way it won't stick to the cake. Like this. Rub it with your hand like this. Just all over it like that. Alright, and now I'm going to place this cocoa powder side down on top of the cake here. On top like that. Kind of make sure it's straight. Now use gloves. I burned myself many times. And now take that second sheet pan we had, place it right on top of the first, on top of the cloth here, and then we're going to flip it like this. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Shit. Probably an important step here. Use your offset spatula and kind of cut the ends here. Try and get the end of the cake as loose as you can. I used to use knives, but that was really scratching up my pans a lot. So I switched to the offset spatula to do that. All right, try this again. That there, this here. Then take the whole thing, we're gonna flip it like this. That. Remember, this is hot, but then you're gonna slowly lift this up. Make sure your cake comes off. There we go. Perfect. And then all I have now is the silicone mat right on top. I'm gonna carefully lift that up. All right, remember this pan is still hot, so careful. All right, let that cool a sec. I'm going to clean this up a little bit here so I can move the cameras. Cocoa powder is like the messiest thing I ever deal with. I love it so much, I don't like cleaning it. So now I'm going to slip this right off of the sheet pan that's underneath it here. All right. All right, so while this cake is still warm, you're gonna have to use the cloth's natural thing. You're gonna kind of roll it lightly, and you kind of want to keep going as fast as you can, and use the cloth to pull like this, and just roll it up right in there, just like that. So no breaking. And then I'm gonna let this sit here like this for about 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and then we're gonna unroll it carefully. Fill it with our filling that we made yesterday, our mousse, and then we're going to roll it back up, fold it up, and put it in the fridge for another 2-3 hours. All right, it's been about 15-20 minutes. I'm able to make an espresso. That my cake has been cooling here, wrapped up in the towel. Remember, the towel is wrapped inside it. So now we're going to very carefully unwrap it and remove the towel from the inside, and we're going to slowly fill the inside with the mousse that we made yesterday. This is the mousse we made yesterday. I'm going to use the spatula again, same way. So now, it's up here, and just very carefully unroll it. Try and get that out of there. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna hold that there. Now, try and spread this throughout the entire cake here. Two hands will be easier. Dump this whole thing on there. Just spread the mousse in one layer here like this. A little bit more. All right. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to roll it up, except we're not going to roll the cloth into the cake this time. This time we're going to use the cloth like you do sushi, and just kind of use your hands underneath the cloth and pull the cloth up to make a nice roll like this, and then just keep it going like this, and keep it rolling like this. And there you go. Nicely rolled here. See there? Let's see. Yeah, oh, nice. And now I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to put this over it like this. Fold these in. Roll this over. And now this goes into the refrigerator for about 2 to 3 hours. All right, welcome back. All right, we're gonna frost this cake. Taken the cake out of the refrigerator. It's been in there for over 3 hours. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a syrup to pour on top. We're gonna use some sugar. It's supposed to be equal parts sugar and liquid. I'm gonna take a couple tablespoons of sugar. I'm gonna put some of this cold brew in there. I'm gonna toss that in the microwave for 30 seconds. And then we're going to put some creme de cacao on it and some Kahlua in there. And that's what we're going to use to base the top of the cake. So now we're ready to go. Make sure you have your platter that you're going to serve the cake on ready to go. Cake here all wrapped up like we left it. I have my ganache that I made yesterday that's nice and firm now. There you go. Just like that. Take this. Stir that up. Toss a little bit of Kahlua in there. Some of this cheap creme de cacao with plenty of sugar in it. All right. So we're kind of going to base the cake with this. Once it's on there, it gives it a little bit more liquidy flavor to it. All right, so we got to carefully unwrap the cake here. See, there it is. I have the seam side up here, so I'm kind of going to position it very carefully on the plate, seam side down, just like that. And you can see just how nicely this came out. Nice roll right there. And now, I'll just spoon it on. I'm just going to kind of take this and kind of spoon it on here. The cake will absorb like all of this if I put it on the plate, just as it sets. So you don't really need to be too careful because you're going to clean the plate later. Oh. All right, I forgot my microphone, so now it's on. Hopefully the audio wasn't too bad for the beginning of that. All right, we're going to finish spooning this on here. If I had my baster brush, I would do that. I don't. All right, but that's okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this knife and kind of stick it in there, and you want to soften this up here like that. Just if you stir it up, you're going to soften it up. Move my rings, and then I'm just going to put the whole thing on the cake here. It's about 3/4 of it. All right, double angle here, and the easiest thing to do I've found for doing this is use your hands. Over the years, I've tried to do it cleanly and have completely failed. So I try and spread it on as much as I can with the knife first. This. Okay. I should do a pretty good job. So kind of take my hand here. I don't have my thing of water. It's easy to have a thing of water next to you. Your hand a little wet, it will slide a little easier on the chocolate here. And just kind of make your way all around the whole thing like this. Kind of want to leave streaks in it, like that, with your fingers. Like some down here, just like that. All right. And that's all of frosting that thing. I'm gonna go wash my hands. And then all right, so now that I washed my hands, the way you treat this cake right now is you want to cut off the ends here. So it makes it look good right there. And then you want to take the end here like this and cut a corner of it. Yep. Cut it on the diagonal like this. Then you're going to put this on top of the cake like this. And you're going to take some of the frosting and put it on the underside, which there should be more than enough. Just like that. So now, wash my hands again. Now I have this, I need to put it back in the refrigerator for a while so it solidifies. And after that, we're going to use a fork to put lines in it to make it look like a log. And then we're going to decorate it with little characters and put some powdered sugar on it to make it look like it's snowing. But first we got to taste it, because you don't cut the ends off and throw them away. So good. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, here we are, day 3. Today's the day we're going to serve the cake. So we're going to prepare it to serve it first. So it's been sitting in the fridge overnight. Looks pretty good. The cellophane is just loosely draped over, hopefully. I'm going to put that back on. So the first thing you want to do is you have all of this stuff around the cake. So you kind of want to get all of this off the plate here. So first I'll start with a dry liquidy here. And then once I get most of this stuff off, then we'll go in with a wet paper towel. All right. So this step now is we're going to be using this fork, and we're just going to make lines in the cake to make it look, it kind of looks like a log, but if you put the fork through it just like this, kind of wiggly lines through it, it will look really nice. Like that. Here, this. And there we go. That's the Bûche de Noël ready to serve. Before we serve it, in fact, we are going to we're going to decorate it with little guys, and we're then right before serving, we're going to put some powdered sugar on it to make it look like it was snowing. With the ganache, you kind of want to do it just before you serve it, because the ganache will absorb all of that sugar and it will just go away. I learned that from experience. Um, but there you have it, the Bûche de Noël. Yes, it took me 3 days, but it wasn't that hard. It takes a little bit of skill in rolling, but I think I've kind of demonstrated how anybody can do this, and really not that much effort. If you think about it, you need 3 days of planning. There you go. Happy holidays.